I'm Sean from Shootie School, and you're tuned in to my monthly stream. I stream the first Saturday of every single month, and we focus on tune track software and the basics of DAW workflows, producing, and songwriting. So if you find this stream helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, but also enable notifications by clicking the bell so you get to hear about all my free content coming out, plus be notified when my streams go live. If you're not watching live, but you're watching the restream, feel free to skip ahead to about the 5-minute mark. But before you do, give me a moment just to tell you the best and fastest way to upgrade your tune track skill set. At my website, ShootieSchool.com, not only do I have hundreds of free tutorials, but I have paid masterclasses for your tune track software. For example, my Drums tab course will take you from clicking around on the drums and selecting some presets to developing and executing your custom drum tones in Drumkits. My Grid Editor course might make you wonder why you're still using your DAW's piano roll. All of my courses leave no stone unturned, and they have me as an on-screen instructor to keep the momentum and the confidence and the encouragement going while you learn. I've been a customer of other tune track instructors, and they're almost all professional. But just know that when it comes to other people's products, you get 10 to 20 minutes on a subject, which is a great overview, good enough to get you ready to rock and roll. But when it comes to Shootie School courses, I'm spending multiple hours on a subject, so you know what I know, and while I teach, you get to witness my workflows. If you're interested, check out the courses page at ShootieSchool.com. Why wait to get better at your craft? If you're a beginner at using tune track software, sometimes my videos or my streams, they're just a little bit too advanced for all users. I know the feeling. That's why I made a free public beginners playlist. So simply look in the description for the link and check out that playlist if I happen to be covering something too advanced. My channel has hundreds of videos. There's plenty of videos for all different skill sets. And for users that feel like they need real-time community support, check out my Facebook group, Shootie School Speakeasy, or my Shootie School Discord server. The links are down below in the description. It'll be just a few minutes before the stream gets started. Hopefully by now my YouTube notifications have gone out and my main regular community members have clicked on them and they're filtering in and they're saying hi in the chat. And if you want to participate in the live chat, just hit subscribe. That'll let you post in the chat and introduce yourself if you wish, or at least say where you're from. It's great to see where everyone's from around the world here at Shootie School. The reason why I do this stream every single month, it's the awesome, humble community that we've developed here at Shootie School. Speaking of the live chat, my co-host Anthony and I, we put valuable links in the live chat throughout the entire stream, whether it's about what we're talking about or whatever we're recommending. So if you can't see the live chat, look around the video area that you're watching right now and reveal it or unhide it. Or if you're watching YouTube on a smart TV, there is no live chat available, which is why I put this QR code up here on the screen. Just pull out your smartphone, open up the camera app, point it at the QR code, and you can come over to the video on your smartphone and look at the live chat there. And if you've been a lurker for a while, now you can finally come and say hi. So I look forward to everybody saying what's up in the chat today, and let's cover one more thing before we get started. Shootie School's been putting out free content for over 10 years on YouTube, and when it comes to ad revenue, it's kind of laughable for a channel and market of my size. The way I make what little money I make off of Shootie School is selling courses at my website, taking donations at my website, and paid membership on YouTube and Patreon. So if you ever thought I brought your skill set to the next level, please pick up a course, send me a donation, or become a member on YouTube or Patreon. If you check out the $5 a month tier called Next Level Members, I provide monthly exclusive content that's not for the public. And since I've been doing this program for over a couple years now, there's actually a big catalog there that will keep you busy for a while. So consider picking up a course, shoot me a donation, or becoming a member if I've ever brought your skill set to the next level. I look forward to today's stream. Let's rock and roll. What's up, everybody? Sean here from Shootie Schools. Thanks so much for joining me on the first Saturday of every month where I do a tune track themed live stream and general DAW workflows. Today, it's just going to be about EZdrummer 3 though, and we're going to work on getting that 80s rock, hard rock sound. Think arena, think massive, think that big snare, or when we don't have that ambience, think like that artificial thick reverb wet sound, something like that. I might even rename the stream when we're done, depending on what we end up covering, but that's the general idea. Check out ShootieSchool.com. I don't have Anthony today, so I'm going to be kind of zipping back and forth. Check out ShootieSchool.com for hundreds of free videos similar to this stream on basic DAW workflows and all tune track products. Check out my Shootie School Speak Easy Facebook group. I try to get down there once a day to provide free support if that's the type of community you're looking for. I actually have a lot of solid, talented members at this point, so they beat me to the punch a lot. And same thing with my Discord server, and it's more of a traditional way to socialize and get support, more forum-based. I love the Discord server. There's the Discord server. And yeah, Anthony, the Sin Knight, is not with me today. I wonder if I have a short in my headphone. Can only hear out of one ear. Oh, as you can see, he's right there saying, sorry, I can't do it. Whoops. Sorry about revealing your private message to me, Anthony. Anthony is a new father. He had a son just a few days ago, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you, Anthony. He also has a daughter and a wife I'd love to shout out to everybody, but I don't know how he feels about privacy. So I'm glad you can't make it today, Anthony, but you will be sorely missed. There'll be a not so much of an interactiveness with the community, but I do have the chat up on my other monitor, so I'll try and hang with you guys the best I can. Anthony is the Sin Knight, and if you guys appreciate Anthony, do one of two things. One, hop over to his Facebook page and give it a like. His Facebook page is right here. And two, if he comes back next month, don't forget to bust his butt about being a new dad. So congrats, Anthony. Love you, man. It is Superior September at tunetrack.com. That's exciting because that just means they're going to put out a bunch of content this month. But boy, Braxel might not even be here, but you know, that means SD4 did not come out. You know, I would guess it would have came out this month in 2025 if it was coming. And so I guess my next prediction is one of two things. I think it'll be first quarter next year because sometimes they do new core products first quarter in a year, or it'll come out 1 year from now in 2026, Superior September. But we'll see what happens. Also, man, I had such a tough month. I think my regular show audio right now is probably about 6 dB quieter than normal. I don't want to mess with my gain staging, so feel free to turn me up if I'm not as loud as the intro, because this is how loud it'll be for the rest of the stream. Yeah, I was sick this month. The girls in my house are sick. Trying to set up hardware for the stream. Just a lot of things. Hopefully nothing goes wrong today, but I feel like it'll be pretty solid. And I only threw together the idea in a list of what to go over today, but we'll see what I do when we get into it, which is always fun when I'm not scripted at all. Usually go off on fun tangents, you know. Reason why I wanted to find an 80s sound today is what I wanted to do at the beginning of the month. I was like, let's do a custom drum kit for this particular song. We'll just dive into the deep end and create this custom drum kit. But I didn't know what EZXs I wanted to build the drum kit out of. So I was like, let's just look at all the EZXs, 80s themed, figure out all the EZXs that work, and then maybe next month I'll put together the drum kit depending on what we find today. So whether you're into that 80s sound or not, you're going to hear a ton of EZXs. You're going to know generically what they're capable of, and that'll let you know either what you already own's capability or what you might want to buy in the near future. It'll be a fun thing. Plus you'll hear me just babble about tune track stuff, so probably pick up some tips that way. But anyway, that's why we're doing that today, and that's why we might do a custom drum kit from scratch, super advanced, next month, but we'll see what happens. And what inspired this was I was working with a student, good friend, good student of mine, for a couple months on and off on this George Lynch song called Hunter. And I knew that this song existed, but I heard it so many times over and over again, I started liking it a lot. So the drum track we're going to use today is the drum track he and I programmed from hand, and that's the Hunter drums, just in case that's interesting to you. But yeah, Superior September, bringing it all back around again. Not much is going on with new Superior releases besides the one that just came out, so do check it out. It's this reel-to-reel one. And then throughout the rest of the month, they're not releasing Superior stuff. We got Easy Bass. We have some EZXs MIDI. We have EZXs inspired by the past electronic sounds. And then we have more EZXs MIDI. So it's almost an EZXs MIDI month. I'm not complaining. Just hoping for SD4 is all. 2026. Bring it, Toontrack, please. Hey, if you want to super support me and you've already maybe bought my course or you sent a donation or you're one of my paid members. By the way, paid members, apology, last month was tough. Your exclusive video's coming out any day right now. I've already done the outline. I just didn't release it yet. My apologies. Things are a little crazy. I got this totally sidetracked, but someone, took a scalpel to my face and carved this thing out of here. So just to get that out of the way in case it's distracting you. It's there for a reason. It's not meth. But if you want to super support me and you already support me in all the ways, consider picking up one of these shirts. They'll never be printed ever again. I'm trying to make room in my house so my daughter has her own room. I don't want to store this stuff anymore. It's going out the window, but it's super quality stuff. So if you're into it, pick up a Shootie HG shirt. Here is the link to that. Oh, I can't even post a link that long. Crap. Let me do this. Look up yard sale in LA because that's where I lived when I created this eBay account. Just look up yard sale in LA on YouTube, and after this stream tomorrow, I'll put the link in the description. Yard sale in LA on eBay. That's where you can find it. So that does it for the intro. SD4, come on. Don't wait too long. First quarter next year. Come on. I'm going to see if Braxel's here. Probably not, though. Let's get over to chat, and then we'll get started. David, brother, welcome, man. It's great to hear from you. Total Faith Productions out of Arizona. Are you doing productions? Total Faith Productions. All right. Rock on. Nick from France. Awesome. Gary, welcome back. Rock on, man. Mark, Oklahoma. Good to see you. Steven, always good to see you. Gongcast, welcome back. Yeah, congrats, Anthony. Bring the congrats back next month if we can. It was such a difficult month. Not looking for a sympathy vote. I did no promotions for the stream except about an hour ago I posted on Facebook. I didn't do a mailing list. I didn't post on forums, all that stuff. So it's probably my fault we don't have a super turnout, but I'm glad we made it to 20 people. So I'm grateful and thank you so much for being here. Rodriguez, yeah, salute to you, brother. Thank you. Actually, I'm glad Steve talked about cross grades. So I'm not going to abandon EZdrummer when Superior Drummer 4 comes out, but you can imagine we've been talking about EZdrummer 3 since the moment it came out and EZdrummer 2 for the past decade. And I've only done stuff here and there about Superior Drummer. I'm going to not abandon EZdrummer 3, but I will shift gears once Superior Drummer 4 is coming out. And a lot of people write me all the time. The reason why they're with EZdrummer 3 is because they found the right teacher. That's the same way I recommend DAWs. Like, what DAW do you use? Well, find the right teacher you want to learn from and then use their DAW. No different than drum software. A lot of people using EZdrummer 3 because I pitched it to them and now they're happy. They have like someone who puts out enough content to get them through it, right? So if you want to follow me, I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying, if you want to follow me, pick up SD4 when it comes out, and there's a cross-grade price if you already own EZdrummer 3. Also, there's an upgrade price too. If you want to start getting used to Superior Drummer, you can cross-grade the Superior Drummer 3 right now, and then, which is a discount. It's like $100 off. And then when Superior Drummer 4 comes out, if you purchase it within the first month, usually, there's a super discount price to upgrade. So it's up to you. I never want to encourage people to spend money. All of us have the tools we need to create, and spending money on more tools is usually just kind of like A lot of us don't do it out of necessity. A lot of us do it because they think that'll make us better, you know? So that's why pick it up if you want. That's where I'm going when it comes out though, and you can follow me if you wish, okay? John, you showed up, brother. Hey, man, football season. I get it, man. I get it. Go do your thing and enjoy, and let's get started, man. Oh, did anyone else? Oh, Greg's here. What's up, man? Oh, dude, yeah, COVID's making a comeback. A few people at my day job. I got 3 jobs. One of my jobs, COVID's come back there. I don't think we have it here. I just got over a cold. The girls are sick right now. But I'm hearing all about it. So what can you do unless it's killing you? It's here. We live with it now. But I'm sorry to hear that because one of my students just had it, and he said it wasn't as bad as the first time, but it still hit him hard. So I get it. It sucks. So happy health to you. And if you're not, or if you stick around, hey, let me soothe you, Greg. Let me soothe you. Peaches, it's always a pleasure to have your energy here. I really appreciate when you show up. Drummer Jamaica. All right. Awesome. Thank you for coming, man. Just reading David's comment. Will SD4 be combining EZdrummer, or are they planning to do an EZdrummer 4 separately? My prediction is EZdrummer 4 is not going to be out for a long time, and EZ Bass and Superior Drummer are the next ones up to be upgraded. So my guess, from a money point of view, they want to make money before AI destroys the world, is SD4 will probably come out next. But I'm looking forward to SD4 and EZ Bass, and I bet you it'll be a long time before we see EZdrummer 4. They got a lot of time to make a lot of money off it, and it's a great product, so it's hard to blame them. They're a business, but they put out a great creative product. What can we do? Sean's opinion, of course. That's just me babbling. I don't have an inside scoop. Good to hear it, Greg. All right. I kind of have a cheat sheet on a different monitor over here because I'm going to be covering a ton of products. But let's get into the weeds and just see. By the way, everybody who commented in the chat, thank you so much. I mean, if you're not going to line my pockets with millions of dollars, you know us YouTubers are just insanely rich. You know, one of the number one ways you can support is help us fight the algorithm. Hit like, hit subscribe, but most importantly, put a comment. That's what YouTube sees. That's what all their little robots crunching all the numbers of the algorithm see. And when you do that, that helps me greatly. No more background music. My left ear is kind of in and out. Hopefully it's not shorting out. I bought these in-ear monitors like 15 years ago. They cost a lot of money. It'd be a bummer if they're going. Hopefully it's just a cable. All right, see if I know how to do this. Cool, and I'm kind of watching my own butt, so we'll see what happens. I don't have Anthony today. It looks like my screens are catching up, and I assume you guys all hear me because you're not bitching at me about how it doesn't sound good. So 80 sounds. Just a really quick recap in case you missed the intro. You know, I wanted to do this really awesome custom advanced workflow to create an advanced custom drum kit out of EZdrummer 3. You got to do a lot of tricks when it comes to EZ, and you don't have Superior. Now, I wanted to make this kit for a song called Hunter, which is a George Lynch song. I don't know if it's a George Lynch solo or it's a Lynch mob. Either way, it's George Lynch's song. It's a pretty cool song, especially if you're into that era of music. Check it out. I actually like the rhythm guitar a lot, even though it's meant for lead guitar progressive players. And I just grew attached to the song after working on it for a couple months on and off with one of my students. So I'm looking for all those products that will survive well in an 80s theme. Think big, think ambient, think arena, things like this, okay? And if you only own EZdrummer 3, let's just start here. And I'm sure if you routed out all this stuff, you can get all the results you want. That's not what we're going to do today. I'm just looking for the products as is, as a great starting place. And then as I identify those products, I'm going to watch the stream myself later, probably tomorrow, the day after, and I'll decide what I want to use on my own. So no more talk about the end game goal. Let's just focus on this goal. And so I would skip the main room, even though it sounds great. I mean, you could treat the crap out of it and make it do what you want. But, you know, the bright room has a lot more to offer right out of the gate. We're going to go through quite a few EZXs. I usually stream for 90 minutes, so, you know, and I probably just blew about 15 minutes of that. So over the next hour and 15, possibly a little more, if I don't, you know, complete the task, we're going to make it through a ton of EZXs, probably more than 20 of them. So anyway, and this song down here, this is the Hunter programmed out, something we all did by hand over the past couple months. Came out pretty good. I'd shout out to my student, but I don't know if he wants to be embarrassed. And I know he doesn't watch the live stream, so whatever. I have some killer students. Check out ShootieSchool.com if you're looking for some one-on-one. That's one of the ways I make a living. The YouTube channel is just a business card. I don't make hardly anything off this. I do private lessons and I sell courses. Those two things, if you want to help me out, support me, plus get something back in return to help you get better at your craft. Make sure there's no extra comments, just checking the other screen. Boss, what's up? Boss is a member. Dude, you have a 3-stripe rank, and I don't recognize you commenting too often, so welcome from Sweden, and let me completely butcher my greeting to you, 𝗘𝗫𝗦𝗑, which I know I say that wrong every time, but I just like to try, and I wait for someone to tell me how to say it. Braxel's here. Oh, it's a Dawkins song. Thank you. Perfect. Oh, yeah, it is a Dawkins song, right? That brings me back to 5th grade, and I'm old, so. Yeah, well, David, come down the path of Superior with me when the time is right, when the ripeness of the release happens. In the still of the night, yep. Just reading Steve's comment, Whitesnake. All right. Whitesnake was the first music video I ever saw, and back in the 80s, I was super young. We didn't see much flesh on TV, and it was this girl, fully clothed, but, you know, you saw a bit of, you know, a bit of chest here. She had no sleeves on. She's wearing this elegant little dress. She was like rolling around on a roof car, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's women. Oh, wow. So anyway, that's a memory. It was Whitesnake. Crap. I forget the name of the song. It's probably their first video. It's probably what it was. All right, Braxel, you got a couple years on me, brother. So the reason why Bright Room is the first thing I'm going to cover before we go A to Z down all the EZXs is because right out of the gate, it's called Bright Room. The room is more reflective, and you can just look at the panels. These panels aren't just dense material. They have glass panels at them. And if you look around the room, look, huge glass doors, huge, I mean, this is a reflective room. This sound is going to have a decay to it. And just right out of the gate, that's pretty good. And I want things to be a little bit more exaggerated. I gotta wake up my cheat sheet. I don't think I have much here, but here's one thing I guess I'll disclaim up front is a lot of people that route out want to use their own effects, and I do as well, but a lot of I love plate reverb on my drums. Most people do. And when the Toontrack engineers put plate reverb into their core products, there's a good chance that reverb sounds good with that product. So as much as I like to route out and put my own effects on stuff, a lot of the times I like to preserve the plate reverb because that engineer knew what the heck they were talking about. So you can kind of see how a lot of us route out to get exactly what we want, but at the same time, there's no need to just ignore what's there. You might want to check out and see what some of these inbuilt effects in the preset are, because you can preserve a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. Almost always the reverb, so let's always be mindful of the reverb. You don't have to strip it out when you're routing. You can keep it in. So I'm going to be focusing a lot on that. And this is a pretty picture, but let's focus on the mixer tab because that really tells us what our options are when we go through different presets. And that's a hot tip for any beginners there. Stop looking at the drums tab. Look at the mixer tab when you get your sounds. And let's just find something. I'm not even going to listen to some of these. Let's just find some plate reverb, something that makes sense. Oh, all right, modern rock reverb. Let's check this out. Remember, you can audition from the mixer tab too. Another reason not to stay on the drums tab, as beautiful as it looks. There you go. So, Bright Room, we all own it if we're all here on this live stream. So, go to the Bright Room, and what do we got? Timing controls and pre-delay. I cover a pre-delay a lot in the past, but for those of you that are noobs, this pre-delay portion of the reverb, that's a good way to simulate playing in a huge amphitheater or an arena, because only your reverb gets a delay to it. Just like when you shout hello in the Grand Canyon, your echo comes back delayed, right? Hello, hello. That gives you a sense of being in a huge reflective environment. Well, that pre-delay, I'll just exaggerate it and crank it up. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, see how it comes later? It's nice. It gets that wet effect out of the way of your transient when the snare hits, but it also gives that sense of massive amount of space. Arena rock, the 80s. You know, when I think arena rock, I think about, you know, Def Leppard doing their In the Round tour, if anyone's familiar. But if you don't like that, but you love plate reverb like what I usually do, I'll just bring the pre-delay down or even eliminate it. And then it's just there like regular reverb. So we all want different things. That's how I would consider thinking about the plate reverb setting on pre-delay before you sign off or on something. Sometimes it's just that pre-delay that turns you off. Get it out of there and then decide, okay? Yeah, here I go. Thank you, Peaches. Awesome. I love it. Peaches comes in and saves me. Here I go again on my own. Exactly. And there were only so many music videos, so you heard that song all of the time. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because everybody owns it. I just wanted to explain, I'm looking for plate reverb. And if you're not really sure what you're listening to, watch out for that pre-delay macro knob, because that can save or ruin what you're hearing. So twist that before you sign off or on what you're hearing, what you like. And there's plenty of good snares in this. It's just EZdrummer 3 has a great default. So don't forget to swap your snares out or any instrument you're critiquing. But let's start with alt rock, and I'll tell you, a lot of these, I'm only going to visit for one preset just to say, look, you can find something here. If this is what you own, check this out, and let's move on, because I got a lot of area to cover too. We didn't lose anyone. We're gaining people, so welcome, if I didn't welcome you already, and thanks for coming down. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat, because I love my community so much. But I'm also about to trailblaze a ton of EZXs back to back. But all right, alt rock. There's this one barking Ludwig. I took some notes, but I need to hear it myself to know why I took the note. Okay. Here's the track. Yeah, that kick drum's so boomy. It's not doing what I want. Let's take a look. What's here? Rock tape. This might be it. Yeah, this is probably what I was looking at. You know, and another reverb to call out too, just the theme of the 80s, is gated reverb. And it's when you turn up the reverb, let's just say you hear the reverb really well. You strike the instrument, it decays, but instead of it slowly decaying off to nothing, like a fade out, it just gets chopped off. Instead of boom, bah, it goes boom, bah, boom, bah, boom, bah. That's another signature trick. So I love plate reverb, but gated reverb's also a trick of the 80s, and this kind of sounds like it's gated. Hard to say for sure. It does fade out pretty well. Let's take a look at the snares just for 2 seconds. That snare sounds good and deep. Dun, 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 dun. What was the default snare? I think it was this guy. No, this guy. Yeah, that damn snare. This sounds great. You can figure out an 80s sound with this. Let's move on to big rock. The big rock drums, if you're more go back a decade earlier into 70s style, you should get this. The limitation of this is it only has so many instrument slots, but the tones are fantastic for classic rock. But we can strangle an 80s thing out of here. We're waiting for these load bars to load up here, and since my computer is streaming, it's recording, it's routing my talkback and all that, I guess it'll struggle now and then. Maybe I'll pause it next time, but actually that snare sounds great. I would fear more not getting a good kick drum out of this due to the classical boominess than the snare. The snare sounds great. Let's pause it for a sec. Oh, there we go. Good. Sounds great. Reverb, time, size, and pre-delay. You got and its plate verb. Like, I can work here definitely. All right, tune down naturally. You can always tune the stuff down up here if you wish. Check out my drums tab course on ShootieSchool.com. This tab, it looks like it doesn't do much, but you can really make this tab plus your DAW plus the mixer tab at the same time. It can really get you an insanely custom sound. That's why my drums tab course exists on ShootieSchool.com. And I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna do a blanket discount, but if you wanna write me and say, hey, write me within a week and say, hey, I saw your September stream, can I get the $5 off? Just write me, I'll shoot you a coupon. We can anyway, this sounds great. I don't think I had any other notes, but if you only have big rock drums, you can figure it out. I'm concerned about the kick. Yeah, super boomy. I think this kick's the best thing we got. Honestly, not too impressed with the kick if you're going for the 80s, but I'll tell you, if you're a 70s guy, anything like that, big rock drums, it's awesome. If the amount of kit pieces don't work for you, just use a DAW, use 2 instances of EZ. You can expand that kit as much as you want, something like that. That advanced workflow is explained in that drums kit course. So what do we got coming up here next? Big Stage. I love this one, man. I'm going to link this one in the description. I should take notes since I don't have Anthony here. I'm going to link Big Stage in the description. If this one interests you, that's big band, Big Stage. If Big Stage interests you, watch my complete overview on just this EZX before you buy it, and you'll really know what's going on. Favorite SDX is kicks and snares. What's up, Phil? Welcome, man. Peach, yep. Good. Dry ice attack. That's interesting terminology. All you have to do, Sean, is swear a bunch for a big, huge discount. I'm feeling, I don't know, my mood feels pretty good. I feel no pressure right now. And it's probably just I've been getting my butt kicked all month, so it's just whatever. But this is going good. Let's move over to Big Stage. Here's Big Stage's biggest critique, and I'll say it's a very ignorant critique, is people are like, the Big Stage EZX sounds too big. It was recorded in a room that was too big because it was recorded in this theater, right? But the people that say that don't understand that you just turn the room mics down. That's why Big Stage is amazing, because it can get that big. And then if you don't want it that big, you just turn the room mics down. So it's people that critique Big Stage as, it's just too big. What are you talking about? Turn the mics down that are 40 feet away, and then it won't sound that big anymore. It just takes a little bit of knowledge there. So this is one of my absolute favorites, all EZXs, because it can do so many different things. This can do my favorite passionate metal stuff, or it can do my Phil Collins. It can do not anything. It can do a lot. Very versatile. Buy it if you want, but let's hop in here real quick. I didn't have any notes for this because it's so universal, and because we're looking for big and we're looking for arena, just find a drums and mixer preset that has a lot of channels. This one doesn't. It'll expand quick though. Just look for right out of the gate, you hear the decay. These mics are like 50 feet away. It's nuts what 𝗙𝗫𝗪𝗏 did for this EZX. Check out my Big Stage EZX overview. I'll post it below in a day or two. All the information will be below, but just seek it out on my channel and you'll see it. Let's check out just a couple of these real quick. Oh, what does he have for verb? No verb on here, like you need it in a room this big, but let's see what he's got for verb too. A lot of respect for 𝗘𝗫𝗪𝗻𝗠's products that he does for Toontrack. We'll be seeing a couple of them later. Look at all these room mics. Here's room mics on the stage next to the kit. Here's room mics far away where the audience would sit in a theater. Here's room mics in the balcony, you know, a floor or two up in the air. It's in the ceiling, way, way, way up there in the Royal Box. You can see, like, boy, you can get a lot of stuff done here, and then watch, just mute them. You want a tight kit? What are people talking about too big? There's your tight kit right there, all right? So that's the trick, okay? Oh, there is verb on this one. No controls though, so let's just hear it. Oh, dude, let's take all the room mics away and hear what this reverb can do. It's pretty cool. Versatile, very cool. Showstopper's great. I don't think I need to go further. The room mics will get you big in arena. Never mind the few presets that have reverb. All right, let's find another reverb real quick though. Oh, look at this. 2 separate reverbs. Let's see what's going on. That one's super bouncy reflective. The combination of these, that's pretty special. Actually, that sounds good to me just jacking it up and setting and forgetting. Yeah. Need a longer tail? Dude, it's the reason why this is one of my favorites. If you like ringy snares, Jacob also has a crap ton of ringy snares. I go back and forth depending on what's in front of me. But if you want an EZX that has a bunch of ringy snares, that's what you're into, you'll find them with any of Jacob's products, which is Duality 1 and Duality 2 EZX as well. All right. Here's that double reverb again. Anyway, I wanted to brag about Big Stage because personally, I love it. Classic rock, like I said, some of these EZXs I'm only going to stop by for a second because it's not where I'd go, but if it's what you have, there's something there, okay? So classic rock, I have worth a mention Sparkle Plate. Let's see what Sparkle Plate is. Well, keyword being plate, being the reverb I want. And if you don't know what plate reverb is, it's, I'm not an expert at this. I know the generic definition to help enlighten any of you that don't know. It's basically a box. Let's just say it's a rectangle. And inside that box would be a suspended plate of metal. Think like something thicker than aluminum foil, like it needs to be firm. And what they do is they shoot sound into that box and they record that piece of metal vibrating. That is plate reverb. All right, let's see what we got here. Give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you learn anything or you see anything or if you're just enjoying yourself. I really appreciate it. Rick, what's up, dude? Welcome, my friend, and thank you for commenting in the chat, brother. So that kick's a bit boomy, but let's get rid of that hi-hat. Oh, that hi-hat is screaming through the room mics. Advanced trick that you would learn in my drums tab is don't use the mixer tab, just turn it down over here. Now we can really keep that hi-hat tamed, still hear it, but be able to get the focus of the other non-hi-hat instruments up front, which is what I want to hear. And that snare does sound nice. Let's turn it up. Yeah, listen to this verb. Yeah. That's actually nice. We have pre-delay, but look at this. We have a low-pass filter. Common trick for me, especially if I'm part-time live mixing engineer, by the way. Use an X32 at multiple venues, and then I freelance wherever I can get the work. It's a hustle world, man. Trying to stay alive out here, gigging, getting gigs wherever I can. But I often low pass filter. Let me make sure this is what I want to talk about. Controls how much high frequency content is filtered. Low pass filter. Interesting. All right. What I do live is the opposite, actually. That's a low pass filter. When I'm doing my reverbs live to try and give my live chaotic mix clarity, which I also do in post-production in the studio as well, my home studios, I like to put high pass filters on my verb, because when you have bassy things hitting your reverb, it just comes out like occupying all that low end space, and it makes it not tight and punchy anymore. You know, that kick drum hits and you have the low frequencies hitting the reverb, and they last a long time. It interferes with all the things I want down there, whether it's a bassy synthesizer, bass guitar, or the actual kick drum sound, and so on. So I like to put a high pass filter on my reverb often, and looks like I kind of wish I didn't go into this. All right, well, that's a trick I do, so you know, you might want to check it out. Get the low end out of your reverb. You might want to just try it. In this case, it's the opposite. This is a low pass filter, so that's interesting. If you want to peel some of the high end out of your reverb, that's what this knob does. I was thinking opposite. This verb sounds great. That kick drum's bothering me for, you know, something more punctual. Let's just see if there's something else. This is amazing for 70s stuff. I'm just trying to justify using it in the 80s. This is the tightest kick drum we have. It's a little quiet. Let me turn it up. That could work. Oh. That's something that'll cut through a little better. Actually, that sounds pretty good. Yes, I stick by my classic rock sparkle plate preset recommendation for 80s. Check this out. Listen to that snare. It sounds great. Sounds like almost sounds like we're at this festival, and there's a bunch of relay speaker stacks out there. So good. What do we got? Custom Shop. Why would I have said Custom Shop? This is an EZX I don't use often, not because it sucks, but because its theme is for genres of music I don't work in often. I think this has brushes though, so so if you have Custom Shop and you use brushes, it ups the value right out of the gate right there. Don't listen to my personal opinion though. We all work on different styles of music, right? Yeah, drummer, Jamaica. The classic is epic, definitely. Rick, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for commenting. I was explaining earlier how important that is. If you show up and you're enjoying the content, but you don't say hi, that doesn't help me and YouTube's relationship. Either way, I welcome you guys, you lurkers, all that good stuff. George, what's up, brother? Thank you for coming, man. Good to see you. All right, what did I have in mind for this? Why did I even put this down? I put 𝗪𝗀 preset. Okay, let's see what that is. 𝗪𝗀. I think if I remember correctly, I've gone through all these so many times, you know, you got to really pound this kit to make it cut. So that's why me doing a lot of hard rock metal stuff, I'm going to avoid a kit like this. But a lot of my market does not have that same need that I do. So that's why this might work really well for you. It just sounds like a... Let's see what's going on. There is reverb with pre-delay. All right, so that reverb does sound airy. Sounds great. Let's see if we get this snare. Oh. That'll work. If I said I want this preset and I'm doing hard rock or metal, I would just go over to my MIDI and inch my velocity up, because this whole song is not, I don't know, well, let's see. How come you're not, oh, let's select all down here first. Let me zoom out real quick. See if I'm talking crap or not. Yeah. This whole performance isn't slamming velocity the entire time. Some of the power hand does. So if I wanted to make this kit work, I would crank up my velocity performance a little bit, because this doesn't translate the same way on other EZXs that it does in this one. But I hear that snare. That works for me. I'm curious about the kick. Actually, that's a good thud right there. And when you click, that equals 100% velocity hit. So you can see it. Let's just click on the stuff for a second instead of hear what the velocity of my song is. That snare sounds great. And the verb, I mean, there's a little too much. It's a little too wet. I'll just turn it down if I want, but that's probably the snare I had in mind in those, and the snare wires underneath are pretty loose. They're rattling around this. Whoa. Getting close to, you know, like a, generically like an 808 sample. Like, listen to that. That's fun. That one too, you know, the kick, there's 2 kick drums on this. I'm going off topic. There's 2, let's have fun. There's 2 kick drums in the custom shop that have a sustaining musical note to them. That's fun. That's fun too. And these first 2 kicks will work just in everyday, hey, I need a rock drummer. Oh, here you go. Great. There's some custom shop, and like I said, the brushes, if that's your thing, that adds a ton of value to this right out of the gate, because not every EZX has brushes. A small amount of them do. I got a whole article in it. I don't feel like linking to that, but you can go to shootieschool.com, go to the search box, and just type in the word brush, and you will see an unrealistic amount of research I've done only on brushes and articulate things you strike drums with, rods, drumsticks, brushes, or alternate drums that aren't a part of the normal drum kit. I put a lot of time into that. If that's something you're interested in, that will be a serious like diploma in, you know, tune track products that'll make the sounds you want. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I don't really care. But shootieschool.com, type brushes into the search, and you can learn a lot about how Tune Track does brushes. Custom shop. Oh, Drumkit from Hell. This is one of Tune Track's first EZdrummer products, and I think it still holds up. And just this with this basic preset, it's super bright. You can choose different instruments to get the brightness down a little bit, but listen to the decay of that snare. And if I can get a snare that's tuned down a little bit, I think we'll be right on the money. Oh. All right. So that's tuned down, but it's a little too staccato with its decay. And this pearl is tuned up, but it has the decay. Let's just tune the pearl down. Oh, all right. What are we hearing? There is reverb. Great. Yeah. That's why Drumkit from Hell will work. Right there. You saw me mess with the reverb a little bit. You saw me mess with the snare a little bit. I think this works now. It is particular. Let's hear the other kicks real quick. The levels are a little off with the velocity I'm using, but you know, that's why you mix the kits a little bit. That snare sounds money in my opinion. It does. Primary, baby. Unfortunately, I'm not catching the comments real time, so I don't know where you're commenting to. But anyway, Drumkit from Hell is the oldest EZX, and if you go like, oh, why would I buy such an old one? We're 15, 20 years later. I'm not trying to get you to buy it, but if you need someone to push you a little bit, it has a very unique MIDI collection to it, and I'm just going off memory of videos I've done many, many years ago. It has a unique MIDI collection to it. Multiple famous drummers do that MIDI, and yeah, it sounds good. Even though it's going to be 10 times smaller sample-wise compared to a modern EZX. A lot of people, why isn't it 10 gigs? I want all that sample rate, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that stuff. If I click on it and it sounds good, I don't care how big the product is and how oversampled it is. If it sounds good to my ears, not to my calculator, I use it. And if you and I have similar opinions, then maybe you want to pick it up. Also, this is an older one, so you might just see it come up super cheap on sales. So you could be patient and wait for a sale or buy it in a bundle. That's Drumkit from Hell. I think it's super valid. And death metal, the reverb from death metal is sick. And instead of putting blast beats through this, like, someone typing on an old school typewriter on meth, just put some rock beats through this and you might be like, whoa. Death metal is really good. It's also the quietest EZX. People cry about that all the time. Just turn it up and then it'll be loud. Here we go. It's just right out of the gate. That verb is silky smooth. I don't know if I want to turn it up because I might forget to turn it back down after this EZX. So just lean in for a moment and we'll be on to the louder EZXs in a moment. Time, size, pre-delay. There's not much to talk about, just the first preset sounds this good. The kick is a little too brutal metally. Let's see if there's a different kick, because the snare already works, my opinion, of course. It's a little less aggressive. All right, that has a little less cut to it. Might be a little bit more appropriate for 80s. That sounds great. I don't know if I have to spend much time on this because of how confident I'm in it. I like death metal EZX a lot. There's not much to it though. Let's try this kit. Sounds great. Different pitch snare. The kick is a little too heavy, brutal metal to me, but there's one other option here that'll soften that up a little bit for you. Got a few tune track presets. I don't want to just aimlessly look through this stuff because I want to cover a lot of territory. Let me see what time we got. All right, we're not even an hour in, so hopefully this is just a cable, my left ear. This could pass all day long. Pretend it doesn't look gory, pretend it's not called death metal, and pretend it's the Def Leppard Hysteria tour. I mean, this doesn't sound like that drum sound, but it could easily be inserted as, and people would not stop bobbing their head. They'd be like, heck yeah, sounds great. So try to ignore the themes that these titles imply. Think about the application and use your ears. That's all. Just trying to encourage, and that's also good for a newbie to hear as well. Just start trusting your ears. It doesn't matter if you haven't been programming or doing drum sounds your whole life. You've been listening to drums your whole life. You know what they sound like. Okay. I'm going to skip Drums of Destruction. It's just not, it's too particular. Let's move over to Duality. Get my cheat sheet up. This is back to Jacob Herman's products. He did Duality 1 and Duality 2. They are unique. They have tons of cute little splash cymbals, but staying on topic, Duality 1, I put Denmark. I didn't spend a lot of time here. I put Denmark. Let's see what I was talking about. Yeah, I was talking about that pre-delayed reverb. I can hear it, that echo comes through and it kind of delays. I'm going to turn this hi-hat down a little bit so we can hear through the hi-hat. That sounds really good. That sounds like I'm at, my childhood venue. It used to be called Great Woods here in Massachusetts, amphitheater style. And if you bought the cheap grass tickets, you were way outside of the amphitheater and you would hear a slap back delay. And it still sounded good, but you got that slap back delay, and that's really a great trick to use, and that's what I'm hearing on that reverb, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. I was thinking about my mom taking me to see Bon Jovi when I was in 5th grade is what I'm thinking about. Good time. My mom was cool. Definitely has that 80s style tone to the verb too. So that sounds great. That snare sounds great. I don't know if I have to shop around here. I recommend both of the Dualities. I mean, I like them both. Duality 1's unique. Duality 2 just has a lot of usable stuff from my personal market, so yeah. Cool. Duality 2. I think Duality 2 has my favorite ride, which is completely off topic. Yeah, it's so cool. We're totally off topic now. When you hit the bell of this ride, you definitely get a cutting bell transient, but it's like the edge of that ride can't help but wobble and come through and sustain as well. So you get a piercing bell sound, but you also get a sustaining overall cymbal sound too. Listen. I don't think I'm not that geeky where I've geeked out to every ride in Toontrack products, but I don't know if you find another ride like that, you're gonna have to look far and wide. That's why it's one of my favorite rides. All right, back on topic. What did I choose here? Such a weird rigging. 𝗘𝗫𝗢𝗏 likes that stuff, but yeah, let's toss the verb up a little bit. Now let's get back to that snare. Such a ring. Same thing with cymbal. Excuse me, hi-hat. I'm having a hard time hearing the kit. The hi-hat's so loud. No problem. I mean, that's right on the money. I had 3 notes, and that first note just makes me say, say no more. But I said stubs in Anthem, so let's see what stubs is. Stubs. The verb and the snare tone sounds good right out of the gate. I don't think I need to put more time into investigating. And what did I say? Anthem. Honestly, sounds a little weak, but oh, the verb's not even on. I could search around and find that snare I chose before, but those past 2 presets on the money. Oh, now I hear him laying into the snare. I can hear the tail of that verb, and it's giving me a good nostalgic vibe. Send to compressor. Compress your reverb. That's something new that these other EZXs aren't offering, so if you're a geek like that, that exists. Let's hop over to Fusion. Yes, I said Fusion. Fusion is, this is out of desperation. If you don't have anything else, there's one preset in Fusion that'll go along with the theme of today's stream. But I'll tell you, if you're an EZdrummer, look at all the slots on this kit. You could really make this EZX cooperate with a complex workflow just by the amount of instrument slots that are there. It's fantastic. But they have one plate style plateful. Let's mix this a little bit. Holy crap. Look at this. Look at how much he controls it for the reverb that goes on to this. This is nuts. This is nuts. Snare, only snare sent, only tom sent, dude. That's actually a reason to come and check this out. Maybe not even out of desperation. See if you can build something out of this. All right, let's check out the snares real quick. Let's enlighten our ignorance. feel like I should be pushing the velocity in my MIDI on the snare to get a better crack out of it. Oh, all right, let's find a kick. This might be a little more challenging. Eh? Just my opinion, it's okay if we disagree. Just trying to make this work as fast as possible. All right. There's a frequency in that snare that's ringing. You might like it, I don't. You know, if I was routing, I'd just cut that one thing and I'd be like, all right, let's do a track. Sounds fine. And that's for fusion, man. Awesome. Great to hear, Jamaica. Really appreciate it. I hope you're getting something out of it. I hope I'm, you know, maybe inspiring some of these things you should check out, or at least noticing that some of this stuff will work for you. I hope you're on the right EZX to do it. Yeah, Gary, Fusion's crazy, man. I did a complete overview of the Fusion EZX. So if you're wondering if you should fork up the cash for it, check out my particular, let me write this down, my particular Fusion EZX overview. And that'll help you confirm whether you want to spend the cash on it or not. So I forget, 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗧𝗏. What is 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗧𝗏? Oh, is that Bon Jovi? Did they do a Metal Chick look Bon Jovi? Okay. I saw Bon Jovi on, it was the We're Back Kicking ASS tour, and I forget what album it was on, but it probably had like Dead or Alive. It was probably that tour, so. Aussie, thank you. I'm not surprised you're doing some Aussie preaching, some Aussie promotions, Dave. So anyway, Fusion has something there for today's theme, but it has a lot for a lot of stuff, man. This EZX is enormous. I think you even got rotos. Are they called rotos? Octobands. You've got this low gong drum to complete. Look at all these toms. It feels like an SDX, and this China stack, it's kind of nuts, dude. We got alternate cymbals. Dude, very few EZXs have two snares, and for some reason, EZdrummers want two snares. Well, this is one of the ones you can buy. So again, I could care less what you buy. You know, I get nothing from this. I get nothing from your sales, so I don't care. But this thing is stacked. If you like the sounds, this is it. I mean, it's a no-brainer. After Fusion, what do I have? Gospel. Dude, this gospel kit is a little aggressive, man. It's similar to the Easy Bass gospel. Like, sure, it all works for gospel music, but you can get some very eclectic tones besides gospel out of it, you know? Yes, RIP to Ozzy. Yes, I was listening to Ozzy a long time ago. I didn't, you know, right around No More Tears, I wasn't listening anymore because I was going down a different music path. But his classics, I used to own a Randy Rhoads V guitar, so if that doesn't tell you, I used to be in love with the band. I don't know what will. Gospel, what did I write for gospel, though? Because it's really particular. By the way, another drum kit that has lots of extra cymbals, non-future hit tambourines, and plus 2 snares, but I'm off topic. We're thinking about 80s, stuff that'll work for 80s. If gospel is the only thing you own, try the punchy preset. Yeah, definitely. The huff on that kick. It's puffy, but it stops short. I don't know how to better explain that, and I like that. And that snare's a little bit polite, but let's hear some reverb on it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd use the gospel kit, no problem. That kick sounds so cool. Let's just see if there's something else for a snare, because that snare works. See if there's something else. Yeah, they got a nice low-tuned snare. It's the African mahogany. And you got a crack down here on beaded brass. And you have 2 high-pitched snares. Oh, all right. The amount I bragged about gospel a few minutes ago, just times it by 2. I don't know if you care, even have opinion, or you just watching to get exposure to tune track stuff. But that snare list was pretty cool for the task at hand. That was pretty cool. I'm talking up a gospel product, you know? If I only saw myself as a 15-year-old today, I'd be like, what are you doing, man? Hard rock, this is interesting. You're going to find what you want here, but you got to tweak it a little bit. That's how I feel. I love this EZX, but it just, if I just pull up a preset, I feel like I got to turn all the knobs for a bit. This is a big reflective room similar to the bright room. And look, that hi-hat, I just can't really hear the kit through it. Forget the mixer tab, select the hi-hat, turn it down here. So not only will that turn down the hi-hat signal going to the hi-hat channel, it'll turn down all the bleed going through the rest of the microphones. All things I teach through my drums course tab at ShootieSchool.com. Support me, put a loaf of bread in my cupboard, pick up that course, and after you watch it, you'll be like, crap, I wish I knew that when I bought EZdrummer 3, I'd be so much further along right now, okay? This is the, all right, one thing I like about hard rock is they put the original mix preset up first. Like, that just shows confidence to me. This is Bob Rock, he's a talented guy, of course, right? He's got some bite to it. I don't even have to mess with it when we're talking about snares. Gotta mess with it when it comes to that hi-hat. It's such a crunch, right? Sounds great. And that kick, the verb is on the kick too. Sounds right. It's all subjective depending on the song you're working on, but if it's this close just messing around, imagine how close you can get it if you lean in and tweak it, right? I don't think I have to spend much time here. The room sound, oh, well, let's look at the mixer real quick. All right, reverb's right there, great. Yep, they're keeping the reverb throughout. Not much to complain about. Oh, there's no hi-hat channel, so you have to go here anyway. I just turned up the verb a little bit. Yeah, good stuff. Tune track has a few more presets. Oh, Great Dane's one of my favorites. Let's just see what's over there. And it's probably one of my favorites because the kick has such a high-end attack on it. You might feel the opposite, but forget the kick. It's that snare for the task at hand, 80's theme. Yeah. This is a great metal kit. Forget that it says hard rock. It's a great metal kit because that kick will cut through anything you throw at it, unless your song is just a bunch of cats hissing. I need a super quick break. I gotta pee and I wanna turn on my AC so my camera doesn't overheat. I'll be right back. Thank you so much for showing up, but don't go away. I'm gonna make it super quick, super duper quick. Let's say 120 seconds. See you in a minute. right. Gary, David, Steven, Peaches. Dude, you guys came at the beginning and stay until the end. I really appreciate it. It looks like I prematurely, I should have taken my break a little earlier because I didn't beat my camera overheating. So let's see if it's working now. It's working. Let me focus it a little bit. It's going to overheat again. When it happens, just let me know and I'll just turn it off so it's not blocking the screen. But moving past hard rock, Drummer Jamaica, man, just thinking about reggae, I just don't know the presets off the top of my head, but some of these EZXs just have a reggae preset and it just brings it right up, and you got that, you know, super bongy high pitched snare and some extra, not roto toms, but from the Fusion. Actually, the Fusion goes reggae as well. So if you don't have that one yet and you're an EZdrummer, check that one out, or a programmer. But and Steven mentioned something I should have said myself, which is Metallica Black Album. Yeah, I mean, just goes without saying. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on heavy rock because the majority of it works. And I have an entire video dedicated to this EZX, which is the heavy rock EZX. I'm going to link to it below a little later on when I get a few moments. I don't have Anthony today. But this thing just rocks. I don't know about right out of the gate on the first preset for what we're going for. As you can see, it says 70s. But once you start blasting through these, snare verbs right here. This is a big EZX, so it takes a minute for it to load in. That's why we're not hearing the snare and so on and so forth. Let me hit pause. Let this thing stop choking. That snare's got a bong to it. Lower tuned. Ooh. I don't want to spend a lot of time here because a lot of it works. So it's kind of like you're not really taking a chance using this or buying this because you want an 80s sound. Actually, and if you want less click, look, you just start pulling those direct mics out and hearing through the rooms, and yeah, there we go. For the sake of time, this is an obvious one, so let's move on. There's a ton to it, okay? Heavy rock. Into the Darkness. Here's a EZX I just never spent a lot of time with, but pork pie snare and dual reverb. It has something particular. Look, it has dual reverb. It has gated verb and long verb. Not a lot of EZXs have that, so that's cool. And you have macro controls for all of it. And let's see what I was talking about with pork pie. Here's a pork pie. Let's tune that up a hair. That only took 2 seconds. You know what? And I don't ignore Into the Dark because I don't like it. I've never got a project and said, this is the EZX that works for me, except when I do guides like this, I'll end up going through and I'll be like, gosh, that snare works and those reverb options work. So that's what's there in Into the Darkness. I know I'm running out of time, so I don't want to spend too much time on these unless it's really a reason to suck up time too. And trying to get my cheat sheet back. Kicks and snares. This is another particular EZX that has so many presets. You can get lost in it easy. It's a great place to pull single instruments from though, but let me just go here just for one moment. Where are you? Let me look at my notes instead. Modulation preset, and then you just let's just take the modulation right out because this hi-hat and kick drum actually has like a phaser on it or something. Check this out. I'm going to check it out myself too. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, there's your obvious gated reverb, and snare sounds a little weak, but look at the kicks and snares. We Look at how many snare drums come with this. So we could spend 20 minutes right here. I've exaggerated that reverb. I hate to give a bad impression, but I'm just trying to get through it. How many snares? That overtone. Boom. This is cool. I hear that modulation. Oh, it's from right there. Anyway, kicks and snares is super cool product because it comes with a crap ton of kicks and a crap ton of snares. I might spend more time importing these individual instruments into a different EZX, but you can, if you're just looking for like more ammunition to put in your prepper closet, I don't even know where that came from. Yeah. All right, that's where my head's at. If you're just looking for more ammo to add to the rest of your collection, this is good just to get a big kick and snare drum dump into your collection. There's a ton into it. But as you can see, I can work with this preset, but I'm gonna have to spend some time here messing around. But anyway, that's kick and snares, and it has that gated verb, which is super cool and what we're into. Made of metal, don't have to spend a lot of time here. It's just gonna sound good right out of the gate. I agree with Gongcast just talking about sounds. I believe that SDX has multiple libraries. I thought pork pie was just Primus being well primed. What's the rest? Did not know it was a real drum. Yeah, pork pie is actually super famous when it comes to drum manufacturer names or whatever. So reputable company. Looks like my camera's still up. Good. Made of metal, just works right out of the gate. Don't have to spend much time here. Velocity feels a little light with the MIDI. It's pretty high tuned. Bringing the snare track up a little bit. Now I hear the snares underneath is a little bit more crisp, so maybe that snare was just tuned down a little bit. Reverb's not even up yet. Yeah. This is a great EZX. It's older, but it's great. That's my opinion. Did I write Metal Machine? I'm sure I did. Yep, Metal Machine. More of a crack than a boom is what I wrote. I wonder what that means. And that kick is definitely going to the verb. Something really direct sound, like if you take away the reverb, very direct sounding EZX. So definitely highly dependent on this reverb for the task at hand. Let's hear the snares real quick. Not sure if my vibe just wants to move on or if maybe that's not as great as I was talking. This works great for metal stuff. Plenty of other good options though when it comes to the task at hand. Metal is one of my favorite kits, and it's one of the oldest too. It's just something about the shells of this kit, the kick, the toms, and the snare, just works for me. Let's hear that verb real quick. If that kick is too clicky for you, wow, there's a lot of kicks in here. You got to change both kicks though, so we're kind of hearing it alternate from one to the other. I won't spend too much time here, but yeah, right out of the gate, the whole kit sounds great. It's just auditioning the kick drums take a little effort because you got two of them there. I believe I skipped metal heads. No, I didn't. I usually do skip metal heads. It's pretty raw, not less processed metal kit if that's what you're into. I'd pull it up for punk any day or more traditional sounding thrash any day, but let's see what my note was here. Dirty verb. Dirty. Oh, here we go. Get some verb on it. Let's change the snare. It sounds a little tappy. Oh, yeah. I think if we mess with those faders for a bit, that one preset will work. I don't use metal heads a lot unless I'm looking for something that feels less processed, which that might be you. 𝗪𝗚𝗡𝗦. This is a newer EZX, and I put no notes. I did an entire video only on this EZX, so if you want to hear more than just me doing a touch of it, I'm going to write it down. I'll put the link in the description a little later. 𝗪𝗚𝗡𝗦. This obviously has the skills to pay the bills, depending on what we select, but I didn't write any notes because I know it just works. Let's just try a preset or two. Hollyweird. Let me hit pause so this thing doesn't die on me from a heart attack. That takes a minute to load up. My computer's pretty beefy too, doing a lot of tasks right now. Come on, please come. There you go. Reverb. I don't see any all verb. Interesting how it's affecting the kick more than the snare. Let's try a different one real quick. Oh, get off that. Really doing particular things. I just want to, all right, let's try it. Your track, American Thrasher, sure. I hear some great sounds. I'm just not getting the reverb that I want. LA Heavy. Paul, what's up, man? Good to hear, Greg. I'll tell you what. We definitely have some natural room sound that's bringing a lot of decay, but me being in a hurry this late in the stream, I'm not really giving this EZX the justice it needs because I'm in a hurry now. Let's just try dark real quick. Well, no reverb popped up. 90s hi-fi. Wish we had a send just for the kick drum. Check out my 𝗪𝗚𝗡𝗦 EZX overview video because I didn't really knock it out of the park with this one for this moment, but I'm also running short on time. I didn't take any notes for 𝗪𝗚𝗡𝗦. Modern metal, how many years did it take them to fix the bugs on this to where it finally saves correctly? I'm going to start using it again. Look at this. Dual reverbs. See if we got something bigger. I mean, just pulling up some presets, this one might be too modern for what we're talking about. But let's just fly through them real quick. At least they load up quick. This is a fun preset, but I don't know if it's going to hit the criteria for today. Look at the reverb macros. It's not sounding processed enough for me, but I could spend some time with it. Just look at the macros on this, plus 2 reverb channels. We got to be able to do something with this. That sounds good. The kick's so direct sounding for the criteria. Yeah, what's interesting about this is the dual reverb channels right there. That would be worth to lean into it. I don't have a video just dedicated to modern metal, so I'm not super versed in it. If you already own it, check it out. If you don't, I'm not sure. Check out someone else's review for it. I don't know if that'll get you your 80s tone. If you're going to do it writing some modern metal, yeah, this thing slays. And it took a while for TuneTrack to get an update out for it to help it save correctly. I believe that's been addressed, so I've not been recommending it for a couple of years now because of that, but I believe it was addressed. So great EZX for that modern metal, for what it's meant for. Nashville, you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Well, hopefully I will too, because I don't even know what I was talking about when I wrote this down. Dude, what's up? 𝗙𝗥𝗟𝗧𝗘𝗏. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome. Awesome. Dude, look at Paul's rank. Paul, I really appreciate your rank, man. I mean, you've been a member for that long, man. It makes my day when you comment and I see that and I go, I'm worthy of something. All right, let's hop over to Nashville. Basic parallel compression. Let's see what I was talking about. Oh, basic. Actually, listen to the Nashville kit. Listen to that snare. Hard to say you wouldn't, I mean, that hi-hat's driving me a little bit. Just the volume of it. Just hitting play and turning the hi-hat down. Yes, we can make that work. Parallel compression. Let's see what I was talking about. Oh, even better. That sounds bigger. Not on the kick end. I'm just getting the direct kick sound down and leaning into the room tone of the kick drum a little bit. Now I feel a little bit better about this. That snare sounds big, the reverb's helping, and that parallel compression is helping with the transient on that snare. And if you're into the ring, it'll help get the ring out a little bit better too. So a lot of the reason why I wanted to put Nashville in here is because a lot of us have had EZdrummer for a long time. And so we own those older EZXs and we're like, oh, should we use this old thing? So much dust on it. Yes, just if it sounds good, use it. Who cares about the specs, you know? Thank you, Paul. Dude, why don't you message me and let me give you a killer discount? ShootieSchool@gmail.com. Just be like, dude, it's Paul with the lieutenant rank. And I'll just throw you a good discount, man. I really appreciate your support, man, for so long, man. Thank you so much. After Nashville, Pop Rock, another oldie. If you purchased EZdrummer 1, you own this. Why did I put this here? Let's find out. Did I put any notes? Yeah, I put a note that said change the snare. All right. Kind of reminds me of Drumkit from Hell a little bit, just how staccato it is, which is great for certain things. This cymbals drive me crazy. Let me just bring a few dB down. Ooh. Just bringing that cymbal down made this so much more pleasant to deal with. Try to acknowledge that when you're getting your tones and you're like, oh, this EZX preset sucks. It might just because the velocity on your cymbal's too high. You just got to bring that volume down. That cymbal tone didn't suck. I actually like it. It was just trying to listen through that darn cymbal. If you recognize that, just turn the cymbal down. You're like, shit, this sounds great. That's a big bong. Ooh, okay. That's what I was talking about. My opinion, of course. Dude, the pop rock from 20-something years ago, that sounds good. If you bought EZdrummer 1, you own this by default because this was the library of EZdrummer 1. If you didn't buy EZdrummer 1, you can buy this as an EZX. Now, if you think those tones are good and you want it, great. A perk to buying this older pop rock EZX comes with like 3,000 to 5,000 MIDI files. They're not long, 8-measure long MIDI files, but that's the pop rock EZX because it was the core library of EZdrummer 1. It comes with an insane MIDI injection, and it also goes on sale often. I could care less if you buy stuff, but if you're interested in buying stuff, never mind you get these tones, And it took me about 60 seconds, 100 seconds to get what I wanted out of it. And I think that sounds pretty good. Thousands and thousands of MIDI file injection if you're not an EZdrummer and you're a songwriter and you want more MIDI files. So Rock EZX. All right, what do I got next? Oh, good. I'm getting close to the bottom, and I think I'm already should be out of here. I got 2 minutes left. I'll go a few minutes over because I'm almost done with my prepared list. And since I'm so close, I might as well finish what I started here. Progressive. The progressive SDX and Superior Drummer, I love it. The EZdrummer version of it, I don't know. It's fine, but I don't use it. The SDX has some of my favorite snares ever in tune track history of all their products. That's just my personal opinion. What did I write about it, though? Destined and Huge. Let's see what that is. D. I don't even know what crap. Something that says, oh, detuned and huge. I just typo. Change that snare quick. It's an interesting sound snare. Let me tune this up a little. Interesting how I got to change the velocity to get this thing to trigger because it was just sounding great in this chorus part right here. It's interesting how I didn't hear the snares until I turned up the verb a little. That actually sounds, this moment we're having with the velocity from this chorus, where the velocity is, that snare is total nostalgic 80s right there. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I only took that one note, so I don't really feel that way about the whole EZX, but that moment right there was pretty cool for me, actually. I just put pop punk without notes, so my pre-production, I mean, it takes a long time to get through all these EZXs. I don't put a lot of stuff. Is there a video or an older dedicated live stream where you talk about, for example, quintuplets can be created in the grid editor? I'm struggling with those in particular. Change your resolution down here. So here's all your variations of triplets. And then if you do not see the grid line adapt to what you have chosen, you are not zoomed in far enough. Replay that sentence a couple times and you'll probably get it. As for working with them, like how do we program and work with them out? That's a tough one. I did do a theory video about triplets in general and just counting them out and tapping them out from EZdrummer 2. It's an old video. It's like 10 years old. So you can look at my theory playlist. Your question could mean a couple things. I got all of you a virtual drink. All right. Crap. I'm not sure why I put pop punk, and I absolutely love pop punk besides the limitation of 2 toms. So if I'm using it, I load it up in a DAW. I use multiple instances so I can get 4 toms. 4 toms, not floor toms. It also has 2 snare drums for us V drummers that always want 2 snare drums. I don't know why, you guys are crazy. And I might have just wrote it down because I knew it would work some way, but I didn't research. Let's just see if we can find, that snare's a little too snappy for 80s, but I'm starting to hear the ambience. Yeah, happy hardcore, exactly. Like, this sounds great, just not for the criteria. Let's see if I can find something real quick. This sounds powerful. Not for the criteria, though. That snare just sounds so overproduced and tight in a good way, but that is not what the 80s means to me. The 80s means big, open air. I feel like we can't get away from that treatment no matter what preset we take, so roomy goodness. All right, let's see if we got something that doesn't. I might have been stretching a little bit choosing pop punk for this guide. I think I was just biased because I like it in general. I don't know if it belongs in this guide. It is an amazing EZX. Maybe not a go-to for 80s. I also didn't put in the extra 2 minutes it would have taken to go through all of them, all the presets that it provided. But all right, after pop punk. So that's my disclaimer. Sorry, this is how it gets with my streams when I get at the end, because I literally got to get up and go to work, mix a show. But post-metal, I put post-metal, no, but broke oars with different kick and snare. All right, so I said, all right, this isn't that great, except try this. Where's broken oars? Interesting vibe to this EZX. Maybe not for the criteria today, but it has a vibe. It really does. With different kick and snare. Actually, this verb. Whatever note I took, I'm disagreeing with my note. Sounds pretty big. Let me just turn the kick down. I don't want the kick louder than the snare. Quite a few snares come with this, and this snare already works pretty good, so not really sure why I said no, except try this. It works pretty good. I gotta go to work soon. I did say something about Polar Star. Let's just see it. So that preset worked. It's interesting. You know how like the 80s, it really depends on what side of the 80s you're on. Sometimes you get those straight up acoustic kits that just sound big, like a lot of what I'm talking about, or sometimes you just get those more 80s also experimented with electronic kits, mixing electronic with acoustic and all that stuff. And sometimes you got some really unique sounding stuff in. That kind of sounds like the other side of the 80s, like right there. So, all right, so post-metal, you will find something, that's for darn sure. Cool. Post-metal. I'd hang out with the reggae one for our buddy in chat. That was in the reggae band. Shit, what was your name, dude? Drummer Jamaica, but I don't think it's really particular sounding, this reggae kit, but I'll tell you, it's one of the very few EZXs that have octabands without going to Superior Drummer to get them, and also has an extra snare. That's just a quick shout out since we're talking about reggae in chat. But let's move on. Rock solid. It's interesting. It has the reverb, hands down. I don't think you need to hear anything more. Yeah, definitely. I don't use it often as much, but when it comes to today's theme, I would lean right into this, honestly. It's a big bong to that verb though, huh? Yeah. I don't think we have to spend more time on that. It's just going to work. It's not a preferred EZX of mine, but if you were to say, let's do this 80s song, we would definitely be listening to it and saying yes or no. Definitely be a contender in there. Rock with an exclamation point. Let's see, we're almost at the end right now. Only got like 2 more. Not sure why I put it, honestly, but there's some verb. That snare is so particular with its ring. That's why. Turn that down. Oh, it has a weird note. Oh, 80s rock snare. High and Dry. I wonder if that's referencing the old Def Leppard album. You know what? I'll give that interesting. I still have time to like completely analyze it. It actually, going through that snare list, looked pretty darn eclectic. I didn't get knocked over with that ambience or artificial reverb that I was looking for, but it actually pulled through a little better than I thought. Signature Part 1 has good reverb, is what I wrote. So let's just hear the snares real quick. All right. All right. Yeah, this actually might be a big contender here. Oh, this is a bug they haven't fixed yet. You can't see the reverb sliders. You got to reload the preset. I actually reported this bug the other day. Look, here's 2 separate reverb sliders. If you don't see them, reload the preset. If I wasn't at the end of the stream, we would spend a lot of time here. Me just clicking on those few snares, win. 2 separate reverbs and 2 separate modules for each reverb. We haven't seen that yet out of this entire travel we've seen so far. My camera's out. I'm going to turn it off for a minute, and then hopefully I'll be able to turn it on just to say bye in just a couple minutes. Maybe it'll get the temperature down. That poor sensor in this room. Super humid today in New England. I would just say yes, yes, yes all day long in Signature Part 1, even though the marketing for this does not say, hey, let's do some 80s songs. Just, you heard those snares and look at those reverb controls. And I'm sure if we surf through all the presets, we'd find a lot more. I've got 2 more. Signature Part 2, I said, has good reverb options, but maybe not worth the time trying to make the tones work right. So the instruments you choose for this, going to get an interesting experience from it. But if you look at the mixer, 3 reverbs. I don't know about putting spring reverb on it for 80s, but that might be a cool thing for a different type of genres or goals you might have. But look, 3 separate reverbs, and we don't see them. I wonder if they'll come back up if we reload the preset. Yes, that's just a bug I reported just a couple weeks ago preparing for this video. If you don't see the channels, you just reload the preset and they'll pop up. That'll be fixed in a near update. But again, they're in a booth, so it sounds so insanely tight. Brush kit, by the way, which ups the value of any EZX if it has brushes. It sounds so tight, you're going to be completely dependent on the reverb, so you'd have to be really picky about whether you like the reverb or not, because there's not a lot of natural ambience to mix in. But anyway, Signature Part 2, dude, 3 separate reverb options. And lastly, let's just go down to Synthwave. Now, this is a more classic, older school electronic vibe. So all those 80s songs, you know, whole take on me, you know, I don't know if that's a synthetic snare. I think it is, but there's so many synthetic kick and snares in a lot of 80s music. I would use this in a second for a lot of stuff, but more so, the reality of my personal production lifestyle is I would mix these fake electronic kicks and fake electronic snares with my natural acoustic kicks and acoustic snares and build my tones up with that, which is something we might do next week, depending on if I stay on course. So Synthwave, I recommend it all day long. I wouldn't use it alone for something like the Hunter. But you can just hear like the reverb on that snare, like you heard this all decade long in the 80s, or if you're a nostalgic listener, all those hits you hear on the radio, you know, you hear that stuff all the time. I'm going to switch on my camera and say bye to you guys. I hope today was a kick butt hustle. Yeah, get my focus back here. It was a good time. It was a good time. Let me look over here on chat here. Or probably good afternoon. I'm late to the stream. Good. Angro, Rich. Cool. Thanks. Yeah, you know, in 𝗙𝗏𝗘𝗧𝗏, I mean, you might be asking me something that's out of my comfort zone on teaching as well, but feel free to shoot me a message or hit me up on the appropriate video. These drum VSTs, I mean, EZdrummer, the core program, will be under $200. And then all these extra EZXs that I'm looking at is, you know, they're somewhere around 60, 70, 80 bucks. I think you might spend 80 bucks brand new, but if you're not in a hurry, you always wait for sales. There's always sales, and that'll get the older ones. I covered a ton of older ones throughout this stream. Those always go on sale for dirt cheap. More so than that, buy a bundle of 3 at the same time. That'll get the price down big time. And then when you're ready to commit to a bundle, actually buy from Tom & Music instead of tunetrack.com, and you'll shave just a few extra dollars off. So that's how you buy that stuff. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Dave, thanks so much for any of you guys that made it to the end. I really appreciate it so much. We hammered through a super long laundry list, and sorry I made it pretty quick at the end. You know, like I didn't find the preset I wanted for for Metal Mania, and that happened once or twice, but that's just the nature of me trying to get as much jam-packed content into one single video as possible. I do my absolute best to deliver with my content the way I hope content's delivered to me, and I hope that was a beautiful thing for me. My live chat screen is messed up. I got a lot of things that are messed up today. It's showing the chat in the background from earlier today, but that's not the right thing. Paul, thank you so much. And Digi, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, Dave, the end of the world's coming any moment, so let's just enjoy this moment we have. Who knows if we're going to be hitting left turns, right turns, U-turns, or maybe the perspective on turning at all the definition of turning will change as well. I don't know. Getting a little crazy. Thank you, Gary. Peace. Guys, really appreciate anyone who commented in chat, anyone who hit the like button. And if you want to see me again, make sure you hit the subscribe button. See you guys next month. More importantly, check out my channel. Got more content coming out on a regular basis. And to my members, sorry I missed you last month. I'll make up for it this month. Rock on. Peace.